Yeah, it's just me and you.
Welcome back. Welcome to our conversations about lessons that we've been learning and we have learned from our marriage. This is my husband, Greg. My name is Grace. Today we're going to be talking about communication and how important that is in working together as a team and having a good marriage. The topic of communication is one of those I know that a lot of people really struggle with. And believe you me, we have had to work hard on it and continue to work hard on it even after being married for almost 30 years. So in terms of communication and what that means, can you share a little bit, Greg, about what you've learned?
Sure. Yeah, I think of communication, I look at the physical body. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I realize that we have that designed for a reason. And that reason we should strive to listen twice as much as we talk. And the hardest part of the teamwork, I like to call it, is the ear work.
And I believe that, certainly you're right. I think one of the things that does make it hard to really be listening as opposed to be in the mode of expression, which is where I think we're a lot more comfortable with just talking and saying whatever's on our mind rather than listening. And so many times, and I know this is something I have to work on myself, is that when, and he laughs.
What else can I say?
When we're talking about something, of course I know what I want to say, and my inclination is that I find myself wanting to get my point across. And so there are times when I'm so busy focused on trying to get the point across that I'm not really listening as well as I should to what it is that you may be saying. So I find that for myself, and I'm imagining that this might be true for a lot of other people, is that effort has to be made. I have to make the effort to kind of pause and set aside my own agenda so that I can really hear where you're coming from and then try to understand where you're coming from so that I can relate to you. The point of trying to get into, so to speak, into your shoes so I can hear and understand from your perspective, and then that helps the communication to flow more effectively.
And it can be very difficult for me because if I see that there's going to be a problem, there's going to be a fight, I try to avoid that. So the simplest way to avoid that is to just not say anything. Just go ahead and let her talk. I have 2 ears. You're going to keep talking. I'm trying to hear from both sides and then retreat. But that's not always the best way to do that. And sometimes you have to do the work, do the ear work, which does require you to speak.
Love that you're that's the truth. Because it is one of those things that is really tough, and this is, as a therapist, I do a lot of work with couples, and I know so many times the dynamic of one person, oftentimes it's the woman, feels like she's busy talking.
I didn't say that.
And, the gentleman finds that, okay, so he tends to shut down or to step away. And it's a process. Obviously, it's not a one-sided, like one person's fault. Both people have to work on it. So I appreciate that you are, and you have been working and recognizing that, staying with it and trying to talk through some of the more difficult issues is valuable.
Yes, and that's where, again, we talked about initially teamwork. That's where the work comes in.
And sometimes, I guess, the work is not always the most comfortable thing, meaning that sometimes it feels might be a little tension or whatever,
yes.
But you try to manage those feelings and just really try to work on things. One of the things that I find helps is to keep in mind that we're in this together, that we are a team. And so as a team, if you're truthfully trying to work together. It's not that I am trying to figure out how to hurt you, and I hope and imagine the same, that you're not trying to figure out how to hurt me. So even though we might have our disagreements over certain things, to keep in mind that, you know, truthfully, when it gets down to the bottom of things, we really are in it together. So that helps us to get past those moments of tension or whatever. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for joining us today, and hope that as you continue to work on your relationship, that there are certainly things that you'll be able to put into place. Check on my blog as we share there about how to communicate more effectively, and check out our other videos in this channel. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and definitely to sign up for our emails so that you can always know when there's new information available. Thank you for sharing with us today, and we look forward to the next time.
And again, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, we're in the same boat.
And we're trying to get towards the same destination. That's what's
That's right.
important.
That's right.